Check, check. Testing 1, 2, check. Check, check. Testing, testing, check. Check, testing. Okay, well, apparently we are live. And now I'm going to zag nabbit. I'm going to open up the shutter. So, yes, I am wearing Coyote Pride. My daughter is an official coyote. She has been accepted to San Bernardino State University. So, State University of California. Yeah. There you go. California State University, San Bernardino. That's it. California State University, San Bernardino. That's where she's going. Far out, man. Far freaking out. Well, good morning, everyone. It is at 5 a.m. on this 19th of March, 2024. Once again, I'm exhausted. Brush it here. All right. So if you were tuning in yesterday, you knew my plans were to get together with someone and do some recording. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. My friend David came over and we hung out here for about, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then went out to open mic again because that was his plans. And I thought, well, all right, I'm going to tag along. I got nothing better to do. I'm just wiped out. Coffee. That's what I need. Coffee. I need some Eeyore love. Eeyore. There you go, Eeyore. Now this is a fun cup. This is one of my favorite cups. This has got little 3-dimensional Eeyores on it. And there's 3 little Eeyores with 3 little expressions going on. The one where his tail falls off, that's a great expression. I'll give you a close-up here when I pass by. I still have the thumb drive with more concert footage on it. Just too darn busy lately. Yeah, so excited. Last night, or yesterday evening, Dave and I worked on going to the movies. One of my newest song and probably one of my favorites. It's just so much fun to sing. And it's so much fun to listen to back. I'm not one that likes to listen to my own voice. I'm not one that likes to watch myself on video. I don't go back and listen to any of these shows. I don't watch any of these shows. I have no narcissistic tendencies whatsoever. This is pretty much it, and I don't really get off on the physicality of being on camera. Like other people really like, oh my gosh, camera's on, let's go. I'm not that guy. I'd rather be behind the cameras, working, doing something, because that's just the way it is, Yeah, I got some footage last night of the Tommy Tom show. I am probably going to share it in the form of reels and shorts. I don't want to steal from their thunder. They are a phenomenal group, and if I do have them on the show, it will be in person, and not just stealing videos of their music and then broadcasting it everywhere to get myself likes and shares. That's not really what I'm doing. Whether the videos I make get likes or shares or not, that's not my sole purpose of doing this. My purpose is to just share my life. That's it. And man, have I got a lot to share. I know, thinking like, what's the big deal? Like, everybody goes out, everybody has fun, everybody does these things. If you only knew what I was like 2 years ago. Even, 4 months ago, when that dipshit was still living here, I still wasn't able to fully be myself, I just couldn't, how you get some lump sitting there all the time going, how am I supposed to be myself, in my own house with some idiot here. Yeah, it was my own fault for, picking up another fucking stray. But no more stray humans. I'll take stray animals anytime. Humans just suck. So I won't even go there. But let's see, what else did I get? I got a little footage of David last night. He didn't go there to perform. He went there to just help. One of the musicians out. Somebody brought. I don't know, I kept making fun of it, so I can't remember what it was called. It was this big, giant, looked like a piece of driftwood with a hole in it and some strings dragged across it. That's what it looked like. He played it with a bow and it had a pickup on it. So I'm going to say it was a musical instrument, just not one that I'm familiar with. A Klugel hunter? What the hell is that? He got up there and I said, what's he going to do, play a snowshoe? Because it looked like a big giant snowshoe. It really did. Or a big piece of driftwood, that got smashed together with a guitar. So like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I'm starting to get the feel of going out into the open mic world. There's just so many, right? I mean, out here, the furthest one away is about a half an hour east of here in Wonder Valley, and that's called the Palms. About 45 minutes west of here is the 420 Bank. And there's at least 4 in between that I'm familiar with. JT Saloon down the street here, Lander's Giant Rock Meeting Room, the Frontier Cafe, the Spaghetti Western. And so these 6 are the only 6 that I'm familiar with at this point. I imagine that at some time I'll get out and find more, probably with the help of David. Yeah, yeah, David. He's probably the most important person in my life musically, as far as actually playing music. The most important part, the most important person in my life musically, as far as appreciating music and listening to music, would be my daughter. She's once again looking at more concert tickets for us. It'll be her and I. And let's see what she gets. I don't want to jinx anything. But I'd really like to, who I'd like to see is Firefall. Is anybody familiar with Firefall? Anybody? Hello, is this thing on? Hello. Mm. 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 Yep. She's like, Dad, they didn't have my size. All they had was a large. Do you want it? I said, yeah, it looks like it's kind of a large. I'll take it. Oh, hell yeah. I love me some t-shirts. The only mistake that I made was giving a t-shirt away to that idiot that was here and who's gone now. And he really never deserved my respect. I don't know why I gave it to him, you know, nor did he deserve my help or anything else that I gave him, you know. I honestly hope that shirt shows up in the mail someday, because I certainly don't want to see him, but I'd love to see that shirt again, you know. I mean, I really had done enough for that asshole. I don't know why I kept, you know, that's what happens when you know somebody for so long and you hold on to that past image of them. And you're just totally blind to how they are now because you just got that image of them in the past, right? Well, that person died a long time ago. The guy I had in my house was not that person. Was not. It would have been easier to deal with him had he had died rather than the heartache that he thrust upon me with his bullshit, you know. All I wanted to do was help, you know, and all I got was shit on. So no more stray humans. I'll take a stray animal any day over a stray human. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'll still help my fellow human, but I won't get personally invested in someone's life. Mostly because they're not, right? And anybody else I could have said, you're just not in it. You know, you ain't in it to win it. And neither was this jerk. He was not in it to win it. He was in it to just ride the wave. You know, who's going to take care of me now? You know, well, now he's got his family taking care of his lazy fucking ass. And I'm sure he's convinced everyone that he's a changed person and that he's going to work and do all of this shit. He's full of shit. He's a fucking tweaker. Fucking tweakers. Yeah. So enough about tweakers. We're doing this song last night. And I should have stayed focused, right? Because we could have gotten so much more done in the 2 hours. We watched the video that I need some guitar for. And I think what I'll do is I'll just hit him up to do it at home and bring me the recordings on a thumb drive. I mean, that would probably work. I mean, the main reason I wanted him here, I wanted him here was to work on my song, which we did. So that's pretty cool. We got that. He did a great bass line percussion. He was smacking that bass and giving us a good beat with the song, and that was phenomenal. He's like, "Oh man, I was stopping the bass too hard. I'll try to." And I said, "No, that's like it's like a rhythm. You know, I got something to play along with now. You know, I won't lose myself as easily." And I was right. We did 4 takes, and the 4th take we nailed it. I know we nailed it because I brought my daughter in last night when I got home from the bar, from the Giant Rock meeting room. And I played it for her, and she had a huge smile on her. She said, I love that one. And while I haven't cried yet, I do feel like this is the one. I'll probably cry at the video because I have yet to make a video out of it. And I did shoot video and sound. I have this I don't know if it's a flaw or just one thing about me is that when I'm recording my audio, I've got the camera on and I'm just recording both. And then at some point I'll detach the audio from the video, and then I'll have two tracks, right? The video and the audio. And then I can just dismiss the video and just use the audio, right? So that's pretty cool. And I do that a lot. God, I'm working on a video now, and it's just the editing thing just has so many glitches, right? Mainly, I'm probably the biggest glitch in my editing program. Just because I'm not really 100% familiar with any of this shit. Like, I'm probably familiar with about 10% of what's available for me on YouTube. And I at some point I may join YouTube and pay a little extra to get some more abilities to do things. But for now, I'm pretty much content with the stuff that I got going on. I'm real excited about this song, people. I don't know how to express it. It's like I want to play it all the time, but my fingers and my voice, especially yesterday, I hadn't played in over a week or two. With all this shit going on, I just haven't. And so last night, yesterday before he showed up, I sat out here for a couple of hours. Maybe an hour. Oh, that's right. I played for a couple of hours and then I laid down. I had to put my fingertips on ice. They were hurting so bad. So I iced my fingertips and I went to sleep, and actually it did pretty good. I was able to get up and jam with him a little bit. And I did okay. I'm getting better at playing with the pick now. For a while, I just couldn't hold on to the pick. I've got arthritis hands and stupid fingers. And if I don't drop the pick will move in my fingers, and all of a sudden I got nothing to pick with because it's spun around backwards in my fingers. So yeah, yeah, I'm getting a little bit better at playing guitar. Now, mind you, all I do is strum. All right, I'm a strummer. I got a right hand. That's it. My left hand, it ain't real smart. David and I were talking about how he changes the guitar around to fit his vocal abilities, whereas I change the guitar around to fit my finger abilities, right? I can't play certain chords with my fingers yet. So I find a key that I can play where it allows me chords that I can finger. That's it. Basically, that's it. I had thought about going live last night, but my last live experience at the open mic was none too good. It just did not have the strength, I guess. the recorded version of my live was just really glitchy. So I'm glad that I got to Nina on video as much as I did, because that was it. I had hoped last night that the Tommy Tom show was going to do Her Butt, but they did not do Her Butt. They did a Chris Christopherson song. It was a instrumental, which they're famous for, the Tommy Tom show. And they did White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. Speaking of Jefferson Airplane, there was let's see, rocket launch, West Coast, California, last night. Yeah, X. That's what I thought it was. 22 Starlink satellites. Okay, so 22 Starlink satellites. Okay, so the Starlink satellites are the little tiny satellites that they. I mean, we've got literally thousands and thousands and thousands of satellites happening now around the Earth. Heaven forbid somebody would try to come and land on this planet. They would get pummeled by 100 satellites just trying to break through the atmosphere. It was crazy. So last night we're at the bar and this guy's up singing DW. Nobody told us what DW means. I said D Wayne. So DW is up there playing. And all of a sudden we look behind us in the western sky, and it's just, sun has just gone down. And there's this white stream coming up out of the sunset, right? And it's just glowing because it's above where there's still sunlight. And it goes up, and then it poofs, right? And glows out. And then in front of that, another lights up and it takes off again. And it did this like 4 or 5 times, where it would go and go and go, and then the stage would burn out, fall away, and another stage would ignite. At one point, before it just disappeared into the southern sky, after it broke loose from its final stage and left orbit, or left the planet, you could actually see one of the stages falling. It looked like a falling, I mean, literally like one of those flares that were falling out of the sky, and it was glowing white. And then it glowed red, and it was a orange red dot falling, and then it cooled off and burned away. And I imagine that it fell into the ocean, because logically, when you have stage rockets, it usually happens over the ocean, so the stages will fall into the sea and not into, once it gets further up, stuff will usually burn away, burn up coming into the atmosphere, like that glowing thing. I don't think that burned up. I think that landed wherever it was, over the ocean, more than likely. I don't think they launch those things and drop stages over land. Even if they know that it's going to burn up, I still don't think they do. It just doesn't work that way, man. Big face. Yeah. I got to take my yo-yo with me last night so I could play with my yo-yo. It's pretty cool. Someone actually commented The comment was something like, well, at least I don't bring a yo-yo. And my reaction or my response was, you're just not weird enough, man. Right? And that's cool, because I am the only true reality TV out there. All right. It may not be NCIS. All right. This may not be some heavy action drama thing going on here. But I am the only true real reality TV out there anywhere. You can point me in any different directions to show me any kind of program, but it's all contrived. It's all produced, directed. Most of it's bullshit. Hey, baby, come on. You want to come over here? Come on, sweetie pie. Come here. Come here, baby. Come on, Bessie. Come on. You want to come sit with me? Come here, Bessie. You want to go back? You don't know? You don't know what you want to do? You want to go back to bed? Okay, let me put the big face. Oh, maybe she wants water. Good girl. Good girl. She's kind of a doofus. She's sweetie though. She gets nervous. Yeah, I don't even try to imagine how life was for these dogs before they came here. I know that sometimes they sit there and they shake and they look at me like they're in trouble, and I don't understand what's going on. I can't make any kind of slight noises or they cower. Right? What's up with that? I can only imagine the reasons, right? Well, my father would rescue a lot of animals and take care of them till their dying day, and then his dying day. I don't think he was real great with animals, really. He loved them. He did what he thought was best for them. At the same time, he has had a lot of anger issues to deal with. And I think that perhaps these dogs had to live through some of that PTSD and those anger issues. Because these dogs, sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. Hi, Big Face. When I was younger, I knew nothing about dogs. As much as I love dogs, I knew nothing about dogs. The one thing I do know about dogs is that if you let a dog be a dog, you have a better dog. You have a better friend. You have a better companion. You just have a better dog. When you try to humanize your dog too much, then you run into issues with the dog. Mental, emotional, stress issues, anger issues, uncontrollable deals. So I allow my dogs to be dogs. I don't fuck with them. I don't put a bunch of human shit on them. I don't give them rules and regulations. You don't shit in the house. You don't eat anything you're not supposed to eat, right? You don't fight. That's it. That's pretty much it. Acceptance and courtesy. The dogs accept each other and they're courteous to each other. That's all I want. I don't want to walk in and snap my fingers and have all of the dogs sit in a row waiting for me to feed them. This is not, what I'm looking for. I want a dog that when you look at them, they put their head down, they throw themselves out, and they start running around in circles wanting to do a dog thing and play. I don't mind having to chase my dog down because I know that he's playing. If I want him to come to me, he'll come to me. But if he wants to play, I'm going to let him fucking play. Get it out of your system, play, and then you can come to me. Then we'll do whatever we got to do. I love dogs because they're dogs, not because we've, trained them to do tricks or just overhumanize them. I can't do that. Dogs are dogs. I love dogs. I don't love little things, fuzzy things that people have turned into, my little furry baby. That's cute and all, but I want a dog. I got a dog because I want a dog, not because I want something I can dress up, put in a stroller, carry around in my arm, or even a big dog. I want a dog that's been humanized. I want a dog. I love dogs. A free, natural, feral dogs are great because they're just dogs, man. That's what makes Sam so great, is that he's got this wild side about him. And you can see that that's the reason he was unhomed. Now, Sam, pardon me, we found him in the street. Rainstorm. Pardon me. It's the middle of the day. And Sam he's not Sam. At this point, he's just some stray dog running up and down the streets in a rainstorm. And, we can see a lot of the streets from where we're at up on this hill. And you could literally see him running down a street. And then you'd see him run down another street. And then you'd run down another street. And it was like, damn, somebody dumped off a fucking dog, And that just kills me because my father used to dump off dogs. The guy who rescues dogs and loves animals and stuff. If he didn't agree with the dog, he would just fucking get rid of it. That's not right. I've seen those Elmer Fudd cartoons where he throws the ball and the dog comes back and there's nobody there. They used to break my fucking heart. Not only to break my heart, but then my father would say, "Come on, it's time to get rid of this dog." Oh, fuck. But yeah, there Sam is running around in the streets in the middle of the fucking pouring rain. And I had earlier dropped my wife off at the library down the street. Normally we just walk back and forth, but it was like, it's raining, come get me. So I pull out to go get her, and I pull right out onto the street, and there's that dog sitting in the middle of the road, right in the middle of the street, right out front of the driveway. Just right there. I had no choice but to notice him. And I did. I pulled my car out. I parked my car right in the middle of the road. And I walked back to the house, and I got a pack of hot dogs. And I started giving him little bits of hot dog. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. I tried to touch him. He growled and bit. He was unhappy, to say the least. So here he is, sitting there all cold and shivering, all hunched over. I try to make some kind of connection with him, and he's just pissed off, right? Pissed off at the world. And it's breaking my freaking heart, right? So I just keep giving him little pieces of hot dog. I make a little trail of hot dog over to the car. And when he gets to the car, I try to pick him up, and he growls and snaps. So I take one hot dog and I jam it in his face. And when he's chewing on that hot dog, I grab him, scoop him up, put him in my lap, close the door. When he finishes that dog, he starts to growl and snap, and I grab another hot dog and I just stuff it in his face, right? And so at this point, he starts to stop shaking, and he calms down, he relaxes, and he just kind of puts himself into me and lays there, just kind of leans up against me. So I drive down, get my wife. She comes out of the library, opens the door, gets in the car, and there's this dog in my lap. She gives me this glare like, how dare I pick up a stray? I said, yeah, he's, he was right there. I couldn't help it. We're going to have to find his home. And, we spent a month walking around door to door, the newspaper, the radio, Craigslist. After about a week, we drove out to the animal shelter in 29 Palms. We're out here in Yucca or somewhere. So we drove out there, and we pulled up big dirt lot, fence, and, I rolled down my window and I heard about 50 dogs barking and howling and crying. I put my window back up and I said, drive. What? Drive. We're not leaving him here. And from then on, Sam was ours. Had somebody come along later to try to claim him, I'd have said no, and I'd have taken him to court, or I would have left the state with the dog, right? And even now, Sam is like the best dog ever. He has 3 other dogs to take care of. He has 3 humans to take care of, and he does. He loves and takes care of each one of us. Individually, he has his own ways of dealing with everybody. He's just a great guy. We had a 17-year or 15-year-old dog when we brought Sam home, and he hung out with Charlie, our 15-year-old dog, until Charlie was 17 and passed away. And then after about a month, we got Oliver, another dog that nobody wanted. Bitey, they called him Bitey. I said, well, just bring him over. We'll unteeth him. We'll get him through his teething, and then we'll send him back. I don't want him. Some old lady. That's what happens when you get a 70-year-old lady who goes to the supermarket and gets a puppy out of a box and takes it home. First of all, you're a little old to be doing puppies by yourself, especially if you can't handle teething puppies. What were you thinking, right? So, and then of course the other 2, the girls, they came from my father. So we have 4 dogs. Faux dog. All right, it's about time to warm this up and do a bong hit. Let's show you my cup. Here we go. He's a little happy there. He's a little shy and bashful there. And then, oh no, his tail. His tail popped off. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Eeyores in 1 cup. That's a fantastic cup. I love it. Oh, my shirt. Oh. So yeah, I got this fantastic compliment from David yesterday. He said that he was talking to somebody or something. I can't remember the gist of the situation, but what he said to me was that while everybody else out there might be dreaming of things that they want to do, this is no pipe dream. He said, I'm living my dream, and he's right. Every day that I get up now, I have this stuff on my mind now. I used to be depressed all the time. I used to have depression on my mind. I would most of the time I would literally get up, and if I wasn't forced to go out into the world and function like a average human, I would just as soon crawl back into bed and pull the sheets over me. Literally, that's the way it was. If somebody were to ask me, hey, you want to go out and do this? I'd be like, nah, what's the fucking point? I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna get anything out of it. And now I find enjoyment out of the simplest friggin' things. I like my yo-yo last night. Just out there playing my yo-yo. Yeah, it's the little things in life. The little things, yeah. So, see, I got a little bit of work today. I gotta go clean the house. Oh man, and it's gonna be rough because I am exhausted. I didn't get to sleep till after midnight last night. One, and then of course I never sleep well, so that 3 hours was probably maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours max. Yeah, it just sleep and me just don't jive. But I have a feeling that at some point today, sleep and me are going to be bosom buddies. Yeah, so it's Tuesday. No school for the kid, but I got a house to clean. And I'm thinking that's it on the official books. I've got a crap load of videos that I'm working on. I think what I might do with my off time today is focus on getting some more elements for the going to the movies video. The music video has got to have a lot of big screen. My plan is to show the inside of theaters with the screen and then put movies on the screen as well as shots of me playing the song. Right, basic, pretty basic. Yeah, pretty basic. At least that's the beginnings of the idea. As I work on something, I'll find more elements that will lead me in different directions. I want it to have some cinematic qualities because the song's about going to the movies. But I don't need it to be like a movie itself. I need it to be a music video with cinematic elements. Yeah, and what would be really neat would be to put myself into the shoes of the actor and put myself into some of those scenes, right? That would be neat. How could I do that? First of all, I would either have to put my face onto the actors, or I would have to put myself completely into a shot, into a scene, or completely recreate a scene. That seems a little complicated. I think I'd rather go back to working on one of David's music videos. Now, I said, what we need to do is we need to take one of your songs that you already have recorded and put you in a spot with a camera on and just have you lip sing that song. And then we just go and we do that in a bunch of different places. He said, oh, check this out. I found this great spot. And it's just like couple of walls, right? With some windows, window holes. But that's it. It's just one of those old burned out desert shacks that are a dime a dozen out here. And so he shows me this, and it's just a great shot because through the windows, it's like the desert, and then a wall, and then through the windows, you see more desert, right? And it's just a great shot. But what he doesn't realize is that when he took the shot, his shadow is in the shot standing there. And we're talking, he's like, well, my shadow. And I said, well, no, your shadow is the key. Why don't we shoot a whole video of just your shadow, right? He's like, whoa. So I think we're going to have shadow elements in one of these videos where maybe I can have him playing here and have him playing back here with the shadow next to him, so he accompanies himself Huh? How's that? He's me and my shadow type thing, right? So he's here, and we'll try to stay away from the shadow that falls behind him, and we'll focus on him and the other shadow, right? Because I could have him shoot it here sitting down, and then have him shoot it here with the shadow, and then I can just take these two shots and slice them down the middle and bring them together, right? That's easy peasy. So with a static shot sitting on this side doing it, and then static shot standing with just the shadow, wouldn't that be perfect? You know, looking up toward the shadow looking down toward that. Oh yeah, now I'm seeing it here. Yeah, shadow smoke. That's pretty cool. We could do shadow smoke. Take a big chunk of sage, get it really white hot, and just have the smoke billowing out in front of the light, so that the shadow is surrounded by a mist of smoke swirling about, right? Yeah. That's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool, if I do say so myself. Pardon me. My advice to you is never take in a tweaker, no matter how much they say they've reformed. Don't ever take in a tweaker. Let me go cover my dog here. Yeah, she's a good dog. She's a big good dog. She's a good dog. No wedgie, no wedgie, no wedgie. All right. Well, let's get you now on to 6 a.m. Let me see, I gotta yank my socks away from my toes, or they bind up my toes. So there. All right. Well, I am gonna get some dubage over here. And, my coastal sun. I sure love my weed. All right, so marijuana gives you a sense of euphoria, like everything's going to be okay, which I have needed my entire life. All right, when I was a little kid, before I smoked, one of the things that used to make me feel better, literally, and you know why, because it was a contact, was the first smell of marijuana burning, whether it was a joint or a pipe or whatever. That first initial smell of the smoke, the acrid smoke. When I was a kid, that was heavy. It was like other kids were turned on by cigarettes or the smell of beer or something. With me, it was the smell of pot. And then I knew that if I was in a room where pot was being smoked, that I would feel better, mentally, emotionally better about myself, able to talk. And I never made the connection when I was young that, hey, it's because you're in a room with marijuana smoke and you're getting a contact high, right? So I never made the connection when I was young, living it. But as I got older, I realized the connection between me feeling good and that smoke. Especially when my mother and father came home one morning to find that my sister and I had been up all night watching TV and partying and making toast and drinking tea and stuff. And we weren't tired. We were, and they had been out all night in Hollywood partying and doing drugs and selling drugs and stuff. So when they came home and it was like 5 or 6 in the morning and their kids are still awake and all they want to do is crawl into bed, it's like, well, why don't you guys go to sleep? We don't want to go to sleep. We're having too much fun. So, I don't know, at 12 or 13, my mother and father sat me and my younger sister, who was 2 years younger than me, sat us down and got us high so that we would go to sleep. Of course, I took one hit and started laughing uncontrollably and literally laughed myself to sleep. Had to go off to my bedroom and crawl into bed laughing. And that was the first time. I didn't smoke again for another year or two later, until I was 15. But at 15, I smoked again, and then any occasion that I could find marijuana to smoke, I would be smoking marijuana. Now, my parents smoked marijuana regularly, religiously. So there was always around if I could find it, right? Now, by the time I got into junior high, my parents had gotten back into what's called resale of marijuana, where you buy a quarter pound from somebody and you break it up into small amounts, 1 gram bags for dimes, eighths, right, for 20, $35 for a quarter, right, and then on up. The price would go up depending on the quantity, but then there'd be a price break if you bought more. So anyway, my parents, in this travel trailer that we lived in Lake Elsinore, right on the lake, they had this drawer in the travel trailer, and it was the pot drawer. And you open it up, and it was just baggies filled up, ounces, half ounces, quarter ounces, eighths, dime bags. And I used to get in there, and I would take something that they wouldn't notice. I would go and I'd take a little dime or the smallest little bag that I could, and I'd sneak off and I'd, roll a couple of joints to sell so that I could buy food because food wasn't as important in my house as marijuana was. And my daughter's never had to go through that. No, she's always had something to eat. I haven't always had something to smoke, but she's always had something to eat. She's always had clean clothes. She's always had a warm place to sleep, warm clothes. She grew up completely different than I did, under the similar circumstances, right? Living in a trailer, being on the road a lot, having to travel. But that's about it. And that was early. Now, the last 10 or 15 years, she has not had to live like I grew up. And that's important to me. But I used to I would just steal weed from my parents, and my thinking was, well, if I'm not going to fucking eat, right? If I'm not going to get clean clothes, if I'm not going to get that new pair of socks that I need, if you're not going to help me with my fucking homework, I'm taking some fucking weed. I'm going to smoke as much as I want. I'm going to sell as much as I want to get what I need, because apparently this drawer full of weed is more important than I am. So it started off as little bits here and there, and then I would just reach in and grab the biggest bag that I could. Well, it was an ounce. Let me just take that fucking ounce. And I would literally show up at my friend's house late at night to party after his parents went off to work doing the graveyard shift. And I'd be the party. I'd show up with an ounce of fucking weed or a half ounce or a quarter or something, Everybody else would be thinking cigarettes and booze and stuff. And I come in with a big old fat sack, But, literally, if it wasn't for marijuana, I probably would have allowed myself to be bullied into suicide. I would have just stepped out in front of a bus. I'd have gone to prison for killing somebody. My life could have gone in so many bad directions if it weren't for marijuana to keep me sedate and calm. And other people, they would, all of my friends growing up and stuff, they'd smoke a little weed and they'd get lethargic. They'd pass out or get goofy or stuff. I would smoke pot and then I'd get real. Now I'm feeling real. I feel like a normal person, You know, I can go out, I can talk to people, I can engage, I can have fun, I can do things and not worry so much about the outcome or people's opinions of me, right? Um, but you know, if it wasn't for that, you know, I'd probably offed myself a long ago, or I'd be a completely different person, and I'd be a nutcase because I would be the person that everybody else wants me to be, and that's where I was for decades, just miserable because I could not be that thing that society wanted, you know, that perfect husband, that perfect father, that perfect employee. You know, it just was not me. Marijuana helped me accept the fact that I'm never going to fit in. I'm never going to be what they want me to be. All I can do is be what I want me to be. Right. Back to where David says, you know, you're living the dream, dude. I said, yeah, it started as a pipe dream. But yeah, I am. He's right. You know, I think about it. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it, you know. You know, granted, there are people out there who play the guitar better, sing better, write better, but none of them do it like me, right? Nobody can take and write one of my songs the way I do. Nobody can sing one of my songs. Nobody can sing a cover of somebody else's song like I do because I'm not a musician. I'm not a singer. You know, we were screwing around with Paint It Black, right? Which he's doing it the way that he knows it. I'm like, nah, that's not the way I do it. And I'm like dropped down to a freaking A minor. And it's like, no, I gotta start here. And he's like, whoa, you know, and we both had epiphanies, you know, and sat and talked about, you know, how we have to change things to suit us, you know, uh, and it's pretty cool, you know, that I can find a song out there, a cover song that is done this way. And maybe they've done it this way and this way before, but this is the way that it's done. And then to find people out there to say, well, we can do it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Oh, I like it that way because that way I can actually play the chords and I can hit those notes, right? So yeah, um, I'm just so darn excited about the whole, right? Everything. He's talking about his whole, Margaret. Leave him alone. Um, yeah, uh, we got open mic nights, right, and daytime, right? They're open mic during the day, during the night, you name it, right? Right? So yeah, what do I want to do today? I don't really have any choice. I've got to go out and do some work, and then you know, I'll probably come back and do some whatchama. Um, yeah. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to go and do a couple of things here real quick. I might leave you guys for a few minutes, but I don't want to end the show. So I will probably just put up my please stand by and turn my sound down um, and let it go like that. And then I can keep my show going. I'm just a little away from it. All right. So let's see. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit this mute
Hey, I'm back, baby. I am back. Okay. Nature has called, and I have answered the call. Well, doggy. Here we are. Ow. Fucking ankle. God damn it. Yeah, you get to that point to where all of a sudden you get a pain that comes out of nowhere. It comes on just as, as quick as it fades away. And I don't know what's up with that. I guess it's age. So yeah. The whole music scene out here is pretty much what I've fallen into. It is a huge artsy area. I mean, literally, you could pick up a rock and throw it like a girl, and you can still hit some kind of artist, right? So, musically, that's pretty much what this Friday Night Live thing is about. Most of my channel is about going to see music. I mean, I've got so many music videos. A lot of this show is discussing the aftermath of some of those events. Yeah, music. Totally music, man. I need some new shirts. I mean, I know this is kind of weird to say, but I think I'm pushing like 60 shirts and I need another shirt. Like this is a new shirt. I haven't worn this. This is the first day I've worn this. I have shirts. I still have more shirts that I haven't worn yet. And I want more shirts. Where was I? I was at the Giant Rock meeting room last night. And I was tempted to go in there and buy a shirt, right? But I didn't want to use the bank card again. I wanted to use cash, and they didn't take cash. So it was probably a good thing, because I probably would have come home with another shirt last night, which it doesn't preclude the possibility of me bringing home a shirt the next time I go out there, because I probably will. There's the station down the road here that is a tourist gift shop, and they've got a Route 66 giant statue of a guy, the guy that holds the wrench, right? Well, they've got him there. He doesn't have a wrench, but they've got him standing out there with a big cowboy hat on. He looks like Woody from Toy Story. In fact, maybe someday they'll dress him up like Woody, because that's pretty cool. He looks like a big Woody. Yeah, so I'd like to get a shirt from the station. There's the Crochet Museum. Maybe they have shirts. Joshua Tree Saloon. All the little clubs that I go to, they all have shirts. And what I might do is try to talk my way into getting some shirts. So if I can go, let's say I go to the station website and scavenge all of the photos and information and logo stuff I can get off of that, and then actually go down there and shoot some video, right? I could probably create a 60 to a 90-second commercial for them, and then just say, hey, you think I might be able to get some swag from you? A couple of bumper stickers and a shirt, maybe, because I'm totally into the whole barter trade thing. And nobody's going to pay me to make commercials at this point. But I might be able to do some commercial stuff in trade, right? And that'd be pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, I've pretty much it's got to fit into my schedule. I need a couple of days where I can gather all of the stuff together, and then, concept wise, put something together, the skeleton of an ad, and then boom, edit it together. Add a little bit of music, little sound effects, little narration. Yeah, I like the. It's an old. They call it the station because it's an old service station, gas and whatnot. So sound effects would be like the tire running over the little tube, ding ding. Fill her up, ma'am. The sounds of those pneumatic wrenches. Whoop, 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 whoop. So the sound of changing tire, garage sounds, that would be neat. Some vintage style music, that would be cool for the station. They've got a few vintage vehicles down there. They've got a Manx, one of those speed buggies, right? He's got a kit van where you take a Volkswagen and you build the van box on top of the Volkswagen Beetle body frame. And he's got one of those. He's got an old 70s kit van. He's also got another older panel van. And a lot of vintage paraphernalia, which is pretty cool. I got some bumper stickers from that. I've got a big stack of bumper stickers that I've got to get on my van. Ain't no about a doubt it. If I'm going to live the dream, I got to live it fully. 100%. 100%. Okay. Get the old phone plugged in there, charging up. Get the weed going on here. So, traveling. I think the next concert that my daughter and I are going to see is Motion City Soundtrack. And I think they're at the Novo in Hollywood, in LA. Let me check my concert list here. Yeah. 6:10? Is it 10 or 16? Darn her numbers. I'm going to say 10. That's a 6 there. That's a 10. Okay, so April 10th, we're going to see Motion City Soundtrack. And then a couple of weeks after that, my daughter is going to see Los Campesinos with Charlie. In Upland, I think. That's pretty cool. And then so May, March, April, May, June. So May, she's going to see I Don't Know How, But They Found Me with Charlie. So yeah, it's like I Don't Know How They Found Me, and then Los Campesinos are the last two for Charlie to come out for. She's got the When We Were Young festival, and she's got 3 tickets for that. Not really sure who's going, whether it's going to be me and Charlie, or and Natalie, or her and Charlie and one of her cousins, or whatnot. But I'm sure we'll figure that out over the summer, who's going to be doing what. I got no problem going to one of those long festivals as long as I don't have to be there all day, right? I'm going to be the old guy passed out in a chair with a big umbrella hat on and done up fully in makeup and hair and nails and shit done. So I'm, I don't want to go to one of these things that I'm just going to pass out. But what I'll probably do is I'll drop the kids off, before lunch, after we've eaten, and then go back to the room and chill out until it's time for me to get up and go to the main acts at the show, the festival. Now, honestly, I'd love for her to take one of her cousins who would enjoy the whole thing, and once again, I got no trouble going to Vegas and hanging out and waiting. But I can't do the whole show. There's just no way. I could, but it would probably destroy me. It would probably wipe me out. So one of the things I have to get is the cane chair, where it's a cane, and then it flops down and it becomes a chair, a little tripod, legs and a little seat. That's what I'm going to have to do from now on. I should have had one for the Lucas Nelson show. If I had, I probably would have had that girl, the 30-year-old daughter of that woman with Downs. She probably would have been sitting in it. I'm just that kind of guy. But it still would have made me comfortable had I not been sitting in it, if I had somebody sitting in it who needed to sit in it, right? So I'm cool. I'm flexible. Now, last night at the open mic in Landers at the Giant Rock meeting room, are any of you familiar with the Giant Rock in Landers? Get on YouTube and Google it, Giant Rock, Landers, California. That's all you got to do. You're going to find a lot of posts about the Giant Rock. You're going to find videos, documentaries, exploration videos, guys, adventure videos, all kinds of cool stuff about Giant Rock. It's a horrendous story. It's one of those stories that you just cannot make up. It's just crazy. I mean, you got aliens, you got scientists, you got government. It's just a bizarre story. It's such a bizarre story. And then to go to Giant Rock, which is just 20 minutes from here, to go to Giant Rock and see the things that they talk about in the documentaries and in the exploration videos. It's just crazy to think that this actually happened. Yeah, and I don't want to give anything away. What I'll try to do is I will try to get links to some of my favorite YouTube stuff on Giant Rock. And there's a great, like, History Channel does a show on Giant Rock, and as a YouTube documentary that's pretty good. And it's just a crazy story, just crazy. People are fucking weird. All right, humans are weird. When they don't understand something, their attempts to try and put logic to something is just dumbfounding, right? Where humans could actually try to explain something that's unexplainable, right? Yet they try to put a face on it, and they try to put reason behind something that you can't understand, right? I.e. aliens or God, or
space, the planets, alien. There's no way that we can understand any of this stuff without actually physically, being there and then knowing. I mean, if you don't know, you're just guessing. It's all guesswork. Everything that we're doing as humans is freaking guesswork because we don't know. We don't know, so we try to make shit up to fit, our understanding, as limited as it is, right? And I think it's hilarious that people try to put faces and names on things that they just cannot and will not ever comprehend, like death. How do you understand death until you die? Well, you don't. You don't understand anything about death until you're dying. You don't understand anything about the afterlife until you're dead. That's it. You don't know if there's a God until you touch the face of God, right? And then you know. And to just have faith and to presume, because hundreds and thousands of millions of people before you have said, yeah, this is the way it is. That don't make it so, man. That just don't make it so. Speaking of make it so, David took me out to show me this sticker on his window, right? And I had to look at it for a second before it registered. And it said, Picard, Riker, 2024. Make it so. And I'm like, you fucker, how come I don't have that sticker? Why didn't you get me one? Right? That's so me, that's the kind of world that I want to live in, is that utopia that, where everybody is taking care of each other. There's no famine. There's no, there's no sickness, all of that. And yeah, that's a possible future. But if there's money to be made off of something like this, we ain't ever going to get that future. All we're going to get is money hungry, greedy, freaking money grubbers. That's it. Capitalism it's a double-edged sword, right? Without capitalism, we don't get all of these things that help us live a better now, right? But the trade-off is that we're controlled by corporations. We're controlled by our own greed, our own lack of intelligence, and the desire to buy crap that we don't need. So, I just, what are you going to do, right? Hey, Marge, he's talking to himself again. What's new, Harry? Yep. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? The girls from Hooterville Junction ain't got nothing on Chuck's Chicks. That's all there is to that. Okay, c'est like, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. So I did this post on Facebook, and it was a reel. I got this memory popped up, and it was me making a video last. It's like three St. Patrick's Day, right? 3 St. Patty days ago. It says you want to share this video, this memory, or do you want to make a reel out of it? And I'm thinking, well, gosh, it's only less than a minute long. I'm going to make a reel, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it's just me listening to some Irish music with my headphones on in front of a microphone on the turntable and stuff. But it got me thinking, maybe I can do more of that. I can find some more of this original content, this cover stuff, all of these records here, and run some things, or look on things that I've already uploaded from my father's radio shows, which is where I found a couple of the songs that I'm using on my videos. Do Wackadoo. Do Wackadoo is from the 1929, I believe.
And it's one of those songs that you would hear on the old black and white Little Rascals or Laurel and Hardy. Doom decka doom decka doom decka doom decka doom decka doom decka doom. Right? Well, it's just a great fucking song. And then another one that I just found from my father's show is South by Benny Moten. And it is just a bitchin' 1926. I think it's 1926. It's just a bitchin' song. And it's like I wanted to use a little bit of it for my Friday Night Live opening credits, right? Because I'm going to create opening credits that I can just tack on to the live stuff after it's in the playlist, and then tack on some end stuff and